So in this video, we're going to talk about how to guarantee success as a new entrepreneur in this space. So I'm pretty sure you've seen a bunch of videos on YouTube. You're seeing all of these new fancy business models that you think might be in your best interest, but I'm going to show you what I personally believe is the correct blueprint to follow to make sure you literally guarantee your success, okay? And I'm not talking in the next 30, 60, 90 days. I am talking long term here. So I have a pretty boring Google document to go through, but nonetheless, this is going to be your key to making sure you're making the right decision. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into it. So as you guys can see, we have a document here that we're essentially going to read off of, and I'm really just going to give my thoughts on every single point that I have here, because I think this is one of the things that you really want to take home with you when you're making a really big decision on, should I start this business? Should I go learn a skill? Should I do this, that? So yeah, we're going to go ahead and start with this first one here. Start at step 1. Don't start at step number 5. Now, I personally made this mistake when I was first getting started because yes, I was sold that lie that everybody sold. I'm sure you're probably facing the same thing where you're being told growth operating is the way, IPGA, drop shipping, whatever the new fancy shiny object is right now. For me, it was SMMA, right? Or like a short form content agency. And I went full force into it, not knowing a damn thing about business. And I just wasted a bunch of time. I wish somebody had made this video for me because I was just super in love with the idea of bringing home 10K in the next 30 days or, 60 days, 90 days, whatever, right? But truthfully, the way you build a pyramid is you start with the foundations at the bottom. And a lot of people unfortunately try to build their pyramid like if it's the Eiffel Tower, just trying to get to the top as fast as they possibly can. So yeah, I personally recommend starting at step number 1, okay? Way too many people want that instant gratification, and I get it. I know it will be nice with, sharing it with the people that you know now about how you're making 10, 20K, whatever. Like, trust me, I get it. But this is a long-term game, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in this document. But yeah, I want you to look at your favorite multi-7-figure entrepreneurs that you look up to, you follow on Instagram, whatever, you idolize them. I get it. I want you to go and look at their step number 1. What was the first thing that they did that got them into this space? And I can almost guarantee you it's going to be learning something basic, right? Just being a part of a team or learning how to do a certain role inside of a business that then allowed them to expand their skill set and their ability to be able to make things happen, right? So chances are, for example, I'll give you like my mentor, right? His name is Jeremy Pogue. You guys can look him up. I personally worked with him on his team. And the way he originally got started is he was building an agency. It was a lead generation agency for, I think it was mortgage brokers. And he got it up to a certain amount. So luckily he was able to find success, right out the bat, making like 9K a week or whatever. He made 9K in a single week with that business, but he absolutely hated his life because he was working his butt off. He was fulfilling for every single one of those clients, having to deal with those headaches. He didn't even know how to really run a done for you type of service the right way to scale it. So he was really stuck there. And he got to the point where, luckily he was offered a role within the coaching program that he was learning from because of the quick success that he managed to have. But he made the smart decision and took that. So yes, he dropped his business. He shut that down. And instead, he decided to take the route where he was going to develop skills. Now, whether or not he knew off the bat he was developing skills, that's up to him. I don't know where his mind was, but this is what ultimately came about, right? He became a closer, right? And he started closing deals for his own mentor. He was doing that for a very long time and developed that really good sales muscle, right? And then after some time, they eventually even asked him to, become a head coach because he knew, what needed to happen in terms of the marketing system, how to actually get results for the other clients that were a part of that program. And so he became a head coach. And you see, slowly but surely, he's stacking skills there, right? His background came from ads because he had a lead generation agency. Then they even asked him to run ads for that coaching program. So yeah, he just got it all around. And that was one of the most important things that I took away because I did sign up for his program when he first launched it. And this was when he first became his own business owner. I joined it and I just took a step back and realized, like, man, I really am trying to skip to step number 5 for whatever reason. Like, I know getting to that 25K a month mark, 30K a month mark is very, very tempting, but you really need to take a step back and see the full vision and ask yourself, are you in this for the long term or not? Because if you are, you need to start at step one, start stacking skills, and really take it from there. Because as soon as you make that conscious decision, everything else gets super easy. The next one we're going to go ahead and move on to is just, super basic, right? Take action and be patient. I can't stress enough how you want to kind of develop the mindset of thinking that every single action that you take is an investment into yourself, right? Eventually, when you get to build a business, then every action that you make around you is going to be for the business. But right now, since you're solely getting started at step one, I want you to think about everything you do as an investment. If you're going to bed on time, that's an investment for the next day because you wake up super energized. If you're avoiding watching YouTube videos like this, that way you don't get tricked into thinking like, no, you know what, it actually might be in my best interest to start a growth operating offer. That's an investment in itself because you don't fall under that mindset trap, right? And everything, your relationships, work, your fitness, that's a huge one for me. Every single extra rep that I can do in the gym is an investment into myself and into the dream body that I want, right? We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. So this quote, I always have remembered. I'm pretty sure he wasn't the one who said this, but he's the one who I heard it from, which is Floyd Mayweather. If you guys are into boxing at all, a man of many things, but a master of nothing. Don't be that person that fuels their skill set level halfway empty, right? You want to make sure that whatever it is that you decide to pick, and I'll give you guys a couple of ideas here: copywriting, media buying. My personal favorite, high ticket appointment setting, because it's super easy to get into, but the skills that you develop there are insane. You want to make sure you fulfill that to its maximum capacity. So I don't want you guys to get into it and do it for like 30 days and think you're done. Like, I would prefer if you guys just do it for so long where you just know how to do it like the back of your hand. You know numbers now. You know the data behind, hey, if I do this, if I put a certain amount of inputs here, I get certain amount of outputs here. Right? And just developing all of that knowledge around that one skill set is going to serve you best because that is what makes a lethal business owner at the end. Okay. So I want you to commit to the learning process, right? However long it takes. And we're gonna talk a little bit about this as well, but just expand your time horizon. If you can let go of the whole 90 days, the whole by the end of the year, you just start doing the thing and you just be patient and trust that whatever it is that you're doing in that moment will get you to the eventual outcome that you're looking for, then you're going to be ahead of 99% of your competition. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. You need mentors. There are no exceptions. By far, the best thing you can do is, number one, develop a skill set. Okay, that's number one. That's just my opinion. But on top of that, you don't want to develop the skill set by yourself. You want help. You want people who can show you how to do the thing that you're trying to do, right? And this is, what did I put here? Yeah, so I put, you want to rub shoulders with people that have done the thing you're trying to do. Those people are the ones that can give you the exact blueprint to shorten that time horizon. So yes, I understand being patient and having to wait like a long time can be kind of daunting. So if that's how you feel, then use what you have. Use money to buy back your time. It's one of the most important business ideas that you're going to learn becoming a business owner eventually, right? You're going to have to buy back your time. You're going to have to spend money to shorten the time frame between when somebody's a stranger and they become a customer. So you might as well start doing it now, okay? Those who eventually see long-term success are not afraid to invest. My personal mentor has shown me firsthand that this is the case. If we ever had a bottleneck inside of our business, he immediately paid somebody to help us with our client delivery system, or immediately paid for another mentor for him to show him how to actually be an active and good leader. All right, but it was always the case, and I'm talking like 15K investments, 10K investments here and there, paying 8K for a mastermind just to go for 3 days and take home with whatever he could. And that was probably my main takeaway there, okay? If you don't have 10K to invest, go find it. It's literally that simple, because that will be the difference between how bad you actually want something or how bad you just like to talk about it. I'll give you a little bit of an analogy here. If somebody approached you today and they were the most trusted source on the planet, You can trust them with your life. You can trust them with your kids, anything, right? And they told you, hey man, like I have this Ferrari that I just don't want anymore, and I just want as much fast cash as possible. He said, I'll give it to you for $10,000. How many of you are going to go find $10,000? You're going to go to the banks. You're going to go to, credit union. You're going to go to your family, your friends, your parents, whoever, however much effort you have to do to get that Ferrari, you're going to do, because it's a freaking steal. And that's what a lot of you have to develop in terms of looking at investments. You have to not really like see them for face value. So cool, if you're paying 10K for an investment, like that can potentially give you so much more in return that yes, you won't immediately see, but compounding over time, you will always retain that information. And that's something that nobody can take away from you. So invest in yourself. Think of a Ferrari the next time that investment comes up. And yeah, you're going to be happy you did. I know it's scary. You just have to do it. This is one of the ones I was talking about a little bit earlier, expanding your time horizon. So business is a long-term game, especially if you want to be around for a long time. This is something that I have heard from Alex Hormozi, my personal mentor, why he's been around in the game for like 8 years now. Why I'm coming up on like 3-4 years is because if you're not willing to wait years until you see the maximum potential, you're better off just giving up, honestly, because chances are what's going to happen is within a certain time frame, you're going to get demotivated, you're going to stop, you're going to slow down, and then you're going to ramp back up, and then you're going to stop again, and you're just going to take yourself on this really random roller coaster, when rather, if you just stick to it, yes, your roller coaster is going to be slow, but eventually you're going to skyrocket up. And I'll show you a little bit of a graph to kind of conceptualize that image in your head. So just don't give up, okay? I don't care how long it takes. Commit to it. If you have to create a habit around just doing work, then do it, because that's ultimately what it should look like. You're going to have to do boring work. You're going to have to do work that is not fun, but it's going to pay off years down the line, okay? And lastly, take the leap. So after however long it has taken you to learn skills, you've learned about just putting in effort, you've learned about investing in yourself, you've learned about growing internally, and all around, okay? You have the skills, you have the tools to succeed in business. It's time to take that leap. And I don't know how long that's going to take. That could potentially take you a year. It could potentially take you 6 months if, you're going to be an absolute savage about it. But, however long it takes, it has to, that's according to whatever your situation looks like. So there will come a time when you're ready to take a big, scary leap of faith. And you're going to have to launch your own business. And you will probably be making really decent amounts of money, especially in this online world, right? You might be a sales rep at that point. You might be making like 12, 15K a month. And that's when you have to be ballsy enough to be able to make that decision and say, you know what? I am willing to lose it all, but I am going to bet on myself because I now have the tools. I am not a beginner anymore trying to start a growth operating offer. I now have case studies to leverage. I now have a team that I have personally helped boost in, revenue, right? By 1 million, 1.5 million, whatever that looks like. But you're no longer a stranger. Okay. You've been on a team. You know what it looks like. And yeah, if it feels scary, it's the right time to do it. So whenever you feel like it's the time for you, then, go ahead and do that. That was the time for me around maybe 3 months ago, 4 months ago. I had to get to that point where I was bringing home a good amount of money every single month. I had the luxuries of being remote. I just had to work on literally my phone. But, I gave it up. I gave it up for the hard work, and it's paid off. Let's just say that. So this is what your growth should look like. I'm going to go ahead and move on to a different page here. But this graph perfectly sums it up. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. It perfectly sums up exactly what your guaranteed growth should look like. Okay, you start off here, right? You start off with the scary stuff, which is quitting your 9-to-5. And when you quit your 9-to-5, you should have some money saved up just to last you, 4, 5, 6 months, however much you want to go. For me, it was about 6 months that I had. And your back's against the wall. And the scary part is that the moment you quit, you immediately feel the pressure because there is no more money coming in anymore, right? When you have a 9-to-5, it's like guaranteed, yeah, next week I'll have enough money to pay for this, that, whatever. You don't have that anymore, so it's time to get to work. And there is nothing like that type of pressure. So, I wouldn't say all pressure is bad pressure. I think this is good types of pressure to put yourself under. You give yourself no other option but to figure it out. And you're making no money. So you have no money coming in. Eventually, once you come to your senses, hopefully that's sooner rather than later, and this video actually helps you do that, it's time to learn a skill set. One where the beginner level entry isn't too high. You don't need experience. You can pick up the skill set pretty easily. Again, my personal favorite is becoming a full-time setter, a high ticket setter at that. So you're working with high ticket offers, you get that experience, and yeah, your 9-to-5 income has been replaced. You're at the very minimum just making the same amount that you're making with your 9-to-5 and some, because this opportunity or this space has tons of room for growth. You know what it's like to make online money. You're able to work remote. You have that luxury now. And then this is honestly my favorite right here is you have more time to develop more skills, right? You can start studying up on sales and learning about that. And in my opinion, that's obviously like the best way to get into sales. I think becoming a closer, a remote closer is pretty awesome. I think it's a really good way to go, but you have to start with this skill set first. Very few opportunities will give you access to closing a sale with no experience right off the bat. It's just the truth. You're probably going to have to start there. Okay. So what ends up happening, you end up making anywhere between 5K, 7K every single month, which is still, pretty decent. It's enough to be able to have a dinner every single weekend. And yeah, again, on the days that you're working, you can literally be at a coffee shop 8 hours a day if you wanted to. And you don't even have to work 8 hours, by the way. And then next, you move on to your new role, which is becoming a closer. And this is, potentially my favorite right here, but you start to make big money. You start to have those higher earning months where you're in the 5 figures now, right? And you're developing a lethal skill that you can use in any single industry. So if you're in the coaching industry and eventually you want to pivot, well, guess what? You have sold X amount in sales. So you're no longer like a newbie in the space. Confidence is through the roof if you can consistently do this as well, because having that one skill, being able to have uncomfortable conversations with people is key. Okay, your lifestyle gets way better. You start to be able to take like big trips if you want to. You can even work from there, from your laptop. And you also start to develop more relationships with the giants in the space. And your network is your net worth, by the way. Start to make anywhere between 10 to 15K working as a closer. Now, after that, after some time has passed, and to be honest, like this can be a potential 1 year period, just this one, and this one. That can be a 1 year period where it takes you literally 12 months to be able to get to a closer role. It's just the truth, okay? And then after that, it's time for another big scary leap where you start planning an offer and you're like, you know what? I am tired of working for somebody else. I legitimately want to make that big piece of the pie. Cool. Take another scary leap. Your back's against the wall. You have no other option but to figure it out. But now you have all the tools to succeed. Okay, you've been on a team, so you know what it's like to run an entire business. You know how to run team meetings. You know what KPIs that you need to hit. You no longer take a small piece of the pie. You're taking the whole pie if you want, or at least 80%, right? You obviously need to spend to make money. And life is great here. You just keep scaling up and up and up. And at this point, I mean, the sky is the limit for you. However much you want to decide to make or not make, completely up to you. But yeah, you're no longer confined to just making 10, 15. Now you can make 50, 100, 200K, however, much you want to scale that offer to. But I hope this goes to show you guys, it's not about trying to convince you to think a certain way. I am literally just in this space. I run my own offer because it changed my life. When I came to that conclusion and I took a step back, I looked in the mirror and I said, you know what? I just don't know anything. If that sounds like you, then this is probably the graph that you want to follow. Start with something first. You don't essentially even have to quit your 9-to-5, by the way. You can keep working your 9-to-5, learn the skill of high ticket appointment setting, get on a high ticket appointment setting role, do that part-time, and then take a little bit of a leap and then become a full-time setter, right? It's really just, it's an effortless jump, I guess you can mention. And yeah, eventually from there, you scale up and you slowly start to work your way up. But again, the graph, the graph starts slow. It goes up and up and up and up and up and up, and then it boom, just skyrockets. That is what real success looks like. So let me know what you guys think of this video. And I'm going to be bringing some more Google documents to the table just for the sake of sharing information as accurate as I can possibly do it. And yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. See ya.